In this video, we're gonna talk about reading. This way of reading has increased my way of speaking, has made my way of speaking better. The fluency of my words and how my sentences connect together becomes easier to do when you do this tactic. And the tactic is reading the books out loud. When you're sitting there reading the book in your head, you get half the benefits. If you sit there and read the book out loud, you get double the benefits. So practice reading your books out loud. It gives you so much more benefits than if you were to read it in your head. And what I mean by that is the benefits are the fluency, as I said, becomes better. Your comprehension gets better. It's even found that you get stronger brain power. And the reason why is because you were using so many different factors of your brain at the same time. One, you're trying to see how you place the sentences together as you see them on the page. You're then reading it. You're then making sure that you have the right expressions and the right voice tone and the right, all these sort of things. There's more parts of your brain you're using when you're reading the book out loud than if you are just reading the book in your head. So what I like to do is when I'm reading, the reason why I started doing this is because if I want to become a speaker, if I want to be someone that is good with their words, then I'm going to have to practice reading out loud. And it makes sense to me. When I'm reading a book, I'll be sitting there reading a book, right? Atomic Habits. If you haven't read Atomic Habits, this is the fucking first book you should read when it comes to self-improvement. First book, really. First book, you get this down, everything else will follow. Everything else becomes easier. Atomic Habits, let's say I'm reading it, right? A habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. The process of habit formation begins with trial and error. Whenever you encounter a new situation in life, your brain has to make a decision. How do I respond to this? The first time you come across a problem, you're not sure how to solve it. Like Thorndike's cat, you're just trying out things to see what works. Now see, I made some mistakes there while reading it, but that's what betters your speaking ability. When you're trying to comprehend what you're reading, you're trying to understand it, your brain's trying to understand it, your brain's also trying to form the sentences together, your brain's also trying to do the right tone of voice, there's other factors that your brain's doing when you're reading the book out loud. So if you want to better your speaking, if you want to better your comprehension, if you want to better your fluency in conversation, when you're talking to people, then read books out loud. All right, so imagine this, all right? You're sitting in your room and you're reading a book, okay? But the door's closed and ain't nobody in your family knows that you're reading the book. You're reading the book out loud and it's a self-improvement book. And the book's explaining things about, let's say, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. You're reading How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And you're talking about how the book's teaching you how to be selfless, not having an ulterior motive and being genuine with people, all right? So you're reading a paragraph. And when you're reading that paragraph, your family has no idea. You're reading the book, you sound smart as fuck. People hear that shit and they may not know you're reading. And you're sitting there and you're like, habits are really good for you. Puts your brain in a position where, especially when you read self-improvement books, you're putting your brain in a position where you're constantly feeling like you're teaching something, which is also beneficial because you're learning it at the same time. Not only are you learning it at the same time as the person listening to you, you are also teaching them, because this all comes around full circle. If you read out loud, you see way more benefits. You get half the benefits if you read in your head. If you want to read to yourself and you want to read in your head when it's time and place, if you're in a crowded area, if you're in the library, if you're in this and that, okay, don't read out loud. But when you're at home and stuff, or if you're in your car, read your book out loud. Do these things out loud because it will better your fluency, it will better your confidence when explaining certain topics, it will better your pronunciation with words, it'll better just a whole bunch of things. Your brain power increases, as I said before, and it's just all around a better tactic when it comes to reading. So if you haven't been doing it already, make sure you read out loud because your betters your speaking and makes you way more interesting as well. I hope this video helps you in any way. I appreciate you, I believe in you, and I'll see you in the next video.